What is going on, Holotable Heroes, and welcome back to another Galaxy of Heroes video with me, your bald-headed boy Scribble. We are walking into the weekend with a little bit of Galactically Challenged. Let's do this. Today we find ourselves on the Night Sisters' home planet of Dathomir. Unfortunately, we are not facing off against the Dathomiri. Instead, we are facing off against General Grievous and his separatist droid buddies. The global modifier is, of course, dark magic, because that's what exists on Dathomir. Essentially, every 10 turns, all deceased characters will be revived at 50% hit points, so we need some form of permadeath. We have got bonuses over here for our Sith allies. Every time one of our Sith allies is defeated, they're going to gain 20% max health and offense until the end of battle and recover 25% health. Whenever a Sith ally defeats an enemy, they're going to gain a stack of Dark Ascension. Dark Ascension is going to increase our damage by 15% and decrease the damage that we receive by 30%. It's incredible with dark magic. It's very, very powerful combo. The enemy has got Protocol Exterminate. Droid allies have 30% additional offense. Whenever they score a critical hit during their turn, they're going to land target lock on us for 2 turns if we did not already have it. Whenever a droid enemy damages an enemy with target lock, they're going to recover 10% protection. So they've got a lot of survivability, and a Grievous is going to be ramping up his max health all the time. Alright, so Feats then. We need to win with a full team of Sith, and then we need to win with at least one light side and dark side surviving, and then we need to win after using no more than 3 special abilities. I've got a number of teams that can make this work, so let's get to it. We're going to start off with just a full Sith team. I'm going with a Sith Empire Darth Revan lead so that we can get Deathmark on the enemy General Grievous and prevent him from reviving. Eventually, with any sort of Sith team, guys, you will be able to ramp up enough damage thanks to the modifier, because every time our allies are dying, we're gaining stacking stats, which is absolutely phenomenal. So don't worry about this one using your specials and stuff like that. I would just keep on going regardless. The enemy is going to take, quite frankly, a ridiculous number of bonus turns in this time because of all the turn meter that they can generate and all the speed that they have. As soon as you get that death mark on Grievous, though, it's usually a pretty good sign that he's going to die. And the great thing about death mark from that Darth Revan leadership is that he cannot revive from that. If he dies with death mark, he's gone, kaput, yada, it's done. So I'm happy about that. The other good thing to do is if you target down the B1, once the B1 is dead, he will never come back because B1 stacks can't actually revive. You just get rid of that 100 stack and that's it, game over, they're never coming back again. You could probably put this on full auto from this point, truth be told, but it's really up to you if you want to do that. Like, you can manually play it if you want. I just get rid of Grievous first with the death mark, get rid of the STAP, and then it's just a case of slowly catch up and destroy these enemies. Like I said, eventually, thanks to our modifier, we are going to be ramping up so much max health and damage that we'll be able to rip through these guys relatively quickly. Not too much of an issue. If you've got Malgus, you can use Malgus as well, of course. I just thought I'd try to make it a little bit more accessible with the Sith Empire setup. That is, of course, not the only Sith team that you can use. I'm using a Treya lead here with Nihilus and Malak with Basti. The idea behind this is, of course, that we cannot have to use the 3 specials. So we're essentially just going to be basicing for the most part. I think I might get Isolate off on Magna Guard at some point, but essentially all we're really looking to do here is get the Annihilator off on that General Grievous at some point. If we can get it to be stars aligned, it's a little bit tricky, it's a little bit frustrating, but they do a lot of it out of turn attacks, and under Treya's leadership, that just means it's going to be easier and easier to kill the enemy. So all you want to do is just make sure that General Grievous doesn't get that provoke or that mark on his allies when Nihilus has got his turn with Annihilate. Every time they're killing us, we are gaining so much additional max health that we are definitely going to survive, and there's probably a number of occasions here where I probably could have killed the entire board and not have to worry about it. Malak is another instance where that can happen, of course, but in order for Malak to one-tap General Grievous needs to have no protection, which means he's going to mark a random enemy. You can also make this a little bit easier by throwing in Watt, but that means you won't get the full Sith comp. So I'm just waiting here essentially for an opening where I can get the Annihilate off. I believe there's 3 turns left until we can use Annihilate with Nihilus. 3 of his turns, that is. So it's getting there slowly but surely. Just casually trying to time it out. It's a little bit frustrating. I don't really advise this team. This is just kind of if you have nothing else to get this done. We're only using basics here with everybody, guys. We've used 1 special so far, and that was the Isolate that we put out on Maggie early on in the battle. So I'm just waiting for that turn with Nihilus now to get that Annihilate out. I'm taking a risk here, going after that Magna Guard, hoping... Okay, that's the second time we've used that, so we've got one more special available. There we go, we've got the Annihilate, and now we just put it on full basic auto, essentially. If we can do that, we're going to be absolutely happy. Absolutely happy. So, there we go. That was actually rather quick. It took quite a while, obviously, but we got there. We got there. A far easier way of getting it done is to just go in with Bane and Malak, guys. You go in with Bane and Malak, and what you do is really complex. Is you go auto basic, and then you just you wait it out and you win. The reason this works, ladies and gentlemen, is because one, we can ignore taunts, so we might as well go after the B1 battle droid. But two, Malak is obviously going to force the enemy to get feared. Eventually he will die. It doesn't really matter having Malak here. You could probably use a random other Sith. But essentially, Darth Bane with his rule of 2 is just incredibly tanky as it is. He's obviously going to be gaining even more stats from the modifier, and when Malak eventually sacrifices, he's going to gain all of Malak's relic levels. So you just want a high relic level Sith. Not only that, when Bane defeats an enemy with a basic, he's actually going to prevent revives. So that's just going to make him even more powerful. So what you can do here is you can just slowly just whip away at the enemy, and we're gaining a stack of that Dark Ascension, of course, after defeating the B1. That means we take 30% less damage when we get hit. That basic is also going to be increasing stacks of Siphon on our Bane, which in itself isn't going to do anything, but if you pair it off with one of your specials, for example... Oh, well, actually, over here, take a look. Look, enemies have got no health. If we just kill them with a basic, boop, they're not going to come back, because there's no revive on Bane's basic. So, you know, those two are not going to come back, and we just go back to full basic. And that's kind of it. Grievous has a hard time defeating us. Like, this guy over here is like, okay, yeah, I'll take a turn, says Maggie, and oh, you're not coming back. Sorry, buddy. Bane just destroys this Galactic Challenge. Combination of Sith modifier and Bane being an absolute boss just make this a joke. Some options then for light side and dark side. I've got a full Bad Batch over here with Wat Tambor. You just want to place that weapons tech on one of your characters. I chose to place it on tech because why the devil not? He does an AoE and it's quite nice and powerful. Bad Batch in general are a good counter to General Grievous, even with the STAP. Now this is using specials, ladies and gentlemen, so bear that in mind. All we need to do is we need to make sure that when Wat goes ahead and does his funny business, he places the tank tech on Wrecker, essentially. And when we go to finish off the battle, you just need to make sure that Wat is actually still alive, alright? So just go ahead and spam all your buffs, basically. Spam everything, get people nice and low. You will eventually, thanks to all the true damage and all the AoEs that we're doing, going to whittle down that enemy pretty quickly. You will, of course, be forced into targeting the Maggie, thanks to the true damage that we're doing, hitting Grievous's max health, forcing a marked on the healthiest ally, which is always going to be Maggie until you reduce Maggie's health enough. But yeah, spam those specials, have some good time with it, and try to make sure that you get kills with tech. If tech kills a unit, they are not going to be able to revive thanks to the weapons tech from Wat. Goes without saying that Wat is able to do this with any team. Any team that he puts weapons tech on will prevent revives. I'm just using this team because it's a pretty solid General Grievous counter. We've gotten rid of B2, B1, and Maggie there, and they're not coming back thanks to the revive prevention from tech. So if we can kill Grievous before the countdown finishes now, we will actually finish up, but I don't think we managed to do it just yet. Eventually you will get Grievous to a point where he cannot actually get any more revives. Call in that first special using Hunter on Grievous can often get that expose, and the double tap should finish him off. Looking at some GL comps then, if you want to have some sort of Galactic Legend setup that's going to be pretty good, you can go in with a Rey lead. We could do in Rey, we could take in JTR, we could take in Ben if we like, we could take in Cal Kestis, and then we could throw in Wat Tambor, I guess. So we've got light side and dark side, we've got some evasion mechanic characters. The benefit of this is, of course, that Rey is a character that will ramp mastery when the enemy gains turn meter. So if the enemy is gaining turn meter, which they do a heck of a lot in this team, then we are going to be gaining mastery, which increases our damage. Ultimates do not count as special abilities, to my knowledge, in this game, for this game mode. So all we really want to do is just do basics all of the time, targeting units. Hopefully the enemy is going to be getting... is going to be triggering bonus turns with that B2, and then that's going to be ramping the mastery in our Rey. If we do happen to get inspiration on any of our allies as well. They are also going to be gaining mastery, and Cal and JTR are both evasion mechanic characters, so they will just avoid damage at all costs. So I'm just going to go into the ultimate. Like I said, I believe that ultimate does not count as a special ability, so we can use as many ults as we like, and it will slowly start to defeat people. And by slowly, I mean even the very first one does insane levels of damage. And that's very useful. That's very, very useful. Again, you don't want to be using any specials over here, because, you know, it's you know, you want to win without using specials. That's kind of the whole shtick here. So far, we've only done weapons tech, and we've done an ult from Rey, and again, I don't believe that ults count as a special attack, so we can just keep on using them. You see the amount of damage that Rey has, it's absolutely off the flipping charts. So I'm just looking here more than anything to try and defeat these B1 stacks, just to get rid of them so that they're not over there gaining additional turn meter and stacks and stuff like that. Alrighty, so we've got it down to just General Grievous. Let's go into... Oh, I mean, we could go into ult, or we could just Whirlwind. We'll just Whirlwind. There we go. Job done. And that's it, guys. That's it. It's pretty easy with a Rey team. Rey with Watt. You could throw in someone like Malik if you prefer, but I like Watt for the weapons tech and stuff like that. It's always very, very useful. Obviously, that's not the only Galactic Legend that can get stuff done. Of course, so you can of course use Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. I'm just throwing in JTR for a source of locked heal immunity. We're essentially just going to be going in auto basic at the start to try and get our stacks of Siphon up there. We're not going to be using any more than 3 specials over here, guys, but we want to try and raise the Siphon stacks on our Supreme Leader Kylo Ren as high as possible. Every time they remove turn meter from us, we are actually going to be becoming more and more tanky, which I do find rather hilarious. If you get the opportunity, you do want to try and take out that B1 as quickly as possible, because whilst he is a bit of a pain and everything like that, it does keep the team alive for an inordinate amount of time, and we want to stop that as long as possible. So if you do get the opportunity, you want to go ahead and hit him. So just bait it out, guys. Bait it out long as you can. Long as you have the patience for. I do recommend you probably just walk away for a bit, because this will take several minutes. We'll probably do a little bit of a cut here to skip to the good parts. Who knows? I don't know how long I can just waffle on here. It might look scary at the start, but essentially, as long as we keep on ramping up our max health and protection, it's going to be no problem for us at all. Just slowly catching up. Do. So yeah, the ultimates should not count as a special ability, ladies and gentlemen, so we can freely use our ultimate as much as possible. All we're really looking to do, though, is try to raise our Siphon stacks high enough so that when we start siphoning against General Grievous, it's going to deal really good damage. Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, whenever he defeats an enemy on his turn, also prevents revives. So Grievous will get to a point where he's got so much max health that when he takes a turn, he's practically going to kill the entire enemy team, and then we'll be able to clean up with one hit from Slacker, and then they'll no longer revive. So we've got a full ultimate stack here now. I'm going to go ahead and use that ultimate stack in a second. As soon as we get back round to Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. Just basic away. Every day we basic away. Also, you'll notice that Crew will never die. Crew is quite literally invincible against this team, which is rather nice. Okay, so we've got our first ult. Let's go ahead and jump into ult. Now, I don't recommend right now that you start swiping. I don't think swiping this early is the ideal. You want to try and get higher and higher stacks of Siphon before you do it, but there's nothing wrong with just jumping into ult so that you at least get a little bit of AoE damage out on the board. You might even kill some units, which is great. If you kill some units, then they're, like I said, they're not going to revive, which is lovely. So just go ahead and keep on basicking over here, raising that Siphon stack. Oh, he's got buff immunity, so let's actually focus down on that B1 battle droid instead. Wonderful, there we go. Now he's in trouble. Now he's in trouble, they can't recover as much health anymore. So we've got up to 60 stacks of Siphon. That's not nearly enough for our wantings. We want to get up to much higher stacks than that. You can see how Grievous is quite literally killing his own units right now. Isn't that wonderful? We're just gonna play the long game. There we go, Maggie Guard is gone. Maggie is not going to revive anymore. Let's think about taking out the rest of the units. Preferably with Slacker. Because if we take them out with Slacker, they're not going to revive. I might have to take this off. There we go. And then we can just get rid of STAP. STAP's not coming back. B1 is back for now, but that's okay. We will get rid of him shortly. There we go. No more B1 stacks. Wonderful. Wonderful. Now we can go into ult. And I'm still going to keep on basicing, I think, because even at 200%, it's not what I want. So we're going to be using that first special from JTR, but right now, I just want to get Grievous at least down a little bit before we start using it, okay? So just basics for now. We're going to be using 2 siphons from Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, and we're going to be doing 1 heal immunity from JTR. That's what we're looking to do. So I'm just going to basic for a little bit until we get around into our next ult. Just because I'm playing it safe more than anything, guys. Just playing it safe right now. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to get that. Oh my god, I can't believe that. He just dodged. He actually dodged the heal immunity. Well, that is fabulous. That is fabulous. We'll have to see. We've only got 2 swipes that we're able to do now, so we'll have to see if that's going to be enough damage. I can't believe he dodged the heal immunity. That is so rude. Okay, we're going to have to just go full auto basic now and hope that we've actually got enough damage on our Slacker to chew through. We might not. Let's have a look. We might do. We might have ramped enough. Don't forget, you can still go into ult with Slacker, and that will increase the damage output. Yeah, we might be okay. We might be okay. Yeah, I think we will actually still be okay if we've ramped enough. Yeah, there we go. So eventually it will work. It'll be easier if JTR's heal immunity didn't just completely miss. Oh my days, oh my days. But that's going to about do it for today's episode of Galactic Challenge with your bald-headed boy Scribble. I hope it was useful to you. If it was, please do hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss a thing in the future. A huge shout out to my wonderful patrons. Thank you for supporting me. You guys are absolutely freaking awesome. I'll see you all in the very next video. Peace out, and may the Force be with you.